Where in your life would you say that you feel most like an outsider, and where would you say that you most feel part of a community?
Shit, that's a good question. That's a good question to start on. I feel like, you know what, Edinburgh, I love the place, but I just feel like the culture in Glasgow is so much more. So I feel more at home here. Probably being just through my later years in life, being more involved in music. I just feel like they get it here a lot more than in Edinburgh. Not saying that Edinburgh's bad, but there's just more of a scene here. There is a scene here, whereas in Edinburgh there's not really. So yeah, that's kind of it. Glasgow, Edinburgh. Yeah.
How come you decided to go back to Edinburgh then?
For work. For work. Money. But, yeah. I got some work and basically I just had to move back. But I feel like it was all like the right timing, and since things are opening up, I might come back. We'll see. So yeah.
It's interesting to think about in the context of your upcoming project, Rocket Boy.
Yeah.
Because that kind of gives us these connotations of you being off alone in space, and you've made that when you've moved back to a place where you feel like more of an outsider. Mm-hmm. Do you see kind of a direct correlation there?
I feel like a little bit, yeah. But I feel like the connotations of Rocket Boy is more like just being on a journey of self. And this project basically is like it's like opening my brain and letting people see my journey. That's really it.
Is that why you chose to do it over 3 EPs as well?
Yeah, because with the 3 separate EPs, they're actually they're kind of like the start, middle, and end of where I got up to just before lockdown. And like, some people might just hear it as just like songs, but if you actually really listen to the lyrics and understand it, it all is a linear journey. It's like a whole story.
That journey you're saying took place before lockdown?
Yeah.
How has the last year and a half then impacted your perception of that journey that the CP is looking at? These 3 EPs are looking at, rather.
I mean, it did it pretty perfectly. And obviously, what comes after then, lockdown and whatever's after lockdown, that'll be the next album, maybe. So, yeah.
When the idea for Rocket Boy came to you, did it present itself in that fashion of 3 EPs? Did it already have that scope and that ambition to it when the initial core idea?
I should say yeah, but no, it didn't. I literally made them all at the same time and kind of pieced it all together. It was like lots of different thoughts that I was just kind of getting out. And then once I pieced it all together, it all made perfect sense. Because in the project, there's actually 4 songs in each EP, and it just works completely. Like, it works like flawlessly. So, yeah.
How do you feel that the balance of accessibility and mystique within your music has evolved with time and changed with time?
I mean, now because of social media, because of like online marketing and everything, I think it's like fully accessible to someone that has a computer. And most people these days have computers. I mean, I've always made music in the time of social media, so it's always been really accessible for near enough everyone. It's just, the only thing is just to market it properly and get it out as wide as possible. So that's, yeah.
But then I guess with the mystique side of it, you have 5 photographs on your Instagram.
Yeah.
And 5 photographs only.
Well, that is just because I made a lot of music before, and I wanted to really just, when this releases, I really want to focus on just this. I want it just to be just about this project. So people who may not have ever heard of me before, they might see the Instagram and be like, oh, there's nothing much here. Let's just see what's happening. And all they'll see is about Rocket Boy. And then maybe once this is done, I can maybe like take some stuff back from the archive or whatever. We'll see what happens. But yeah.
I mean, when we look to your music that you've done previously, one of the common threads that has always stood out to me is this theme of kind of debauchery to a certain extent in late night situations. Is that a similar thread that you see going into Rocket Boy?
I mean, yes and no, because I think when people hear this, obviously it's not out right now, but I think when people hear it, once they hear all 3 parts, they'll realize that it's a much more mature sound and a more evolved sound as well. Because I don't want to give too much away, but it definitely does more than touch on obviously the debauchery and the late nights and the parties and the drugs and, you know, but it shows a much deeper side and a much clearer insight. That's what I think.
Well, I mean, with the 3 EP structure, does the final part, the ending, does that kind of look at the aftermath of some of this? Because when you were writing about it previously, it's very in the moment. We never really look at the actual impact that it's having on you, you know, going past the night itself.
I think throughout the first, second, and third, it touches on that. Well, it does more than touch on that, but even in the first EP, it completely like gives a full-on opinion about that. So yeah. It's deeper, but better as well. So yeah.
Does the past or the future inspire you more as an artist?
The future, always the future, because when I create music, I always want to find like the newest sounds and mess them up. Can I swear?
Yeah, of course.
I want to fuck up the sounds and really like make something new that people haven't heard. Do things that people might not have ever done and just really like push boundaries, you know? So that's kind of where I'm at. Obviously all the lyrics and stuff, that's like, it just kind of comes to me, but the main thing for me when I first start making a song is to get the right beat, the right energy, the right feel, and then just from there, just goes.
Well, I mean, I know another big focus of yourself as well is the melody. You've spoken in the past before about how important that is to you. At what point does that enter the process, and how do you push the sounds forward while still protecting that and not impeding upon the initial spark that has drawn you to the melodic idea?
I think a lot of it, to be honest, is trial and error, because like me personally, I know I'm not like the yo, you guys all right? Oh, bless. No worries, I'll come and chat to you guys. Yeah, the process, sorry, what was the question again? Sorry, man.
You've always spoken before about the importance of the melody for yourself and how that's your main focus.
Yeah.
With also what you're saying about always advancing the sounds, how do you kind of protect the initial melodic idea and not impede upon the spark of that while still pushing the sounds forward?
Yeah, sorry. It's trial and error and just going through things and just seeing what really works. And like, there may be melodies like that I've done before that may not have sat right on the song before. So then I would go and put it onto another song and it would fit perfectly.
You mentioned as well the slightly trial and error nature of the way that you work sometimes in regards to that. How patient would you say you are with yourself as a creator?
Very patient, man. I've got like hundreds and hundreds of songs. It's not like I go into a studio and just and the song's done. I really take my time. I'm quite meticulous with it all, and I like to hone my craft. So for every song you hear me, there's probably like 10 more that I've pushed to the side. They might be good, but it's not what I like.
Like stepping stone songs to get to the final one.
Yeah. Or just like, you know, if you're cooking a meal, when you're first learning how to cook the meal, you might cook the meal 10 times, and then on the final time you've cooked it perfectly, you know. So yeah.
At what point in the process would you realize that the meal that you're making isn't perfect?
Just for me, my personal taste, like for my ear, I really kind of like, I understand my, I think I understand my sound enough to know what bangs and what doesn't bang, or what works and what doesn't work. And I'm really like particular with what I want to release. And that's why I haven't released any music in 2 years, as well as COVID. But yeah, I think that's my answer. Yeah.
Where would you say you're at your most transparent in your music?
You mean in this album?
Yeah. Or just in general with your music at large?
I think I don't know. I think the whole thing for this new project, I feel like the whole thing is like quite transparent. Like if you have the songs in your headphones, you will feel like the emotion and understand my thought process with it all. And I think it's quite clear. Like I'm like saying it quite clear.